What's going on, arcade nerds? You know, there is a lot of conversion games like Goindle here, but man, some of these I love. You know, in general, I hate when you ruin an original cabinet and put a conversion in, but some conversions I love, and Goindle is a cool ass conversion. Now, I personally love Arkanoid, and this is like Arkanoid on steroids. Unfortunately, yes, it is in a beautiful Pango cabinet. You can actually see some Pango artwork underneath that bezel right there. But man, if you never heard of Goindle, check this out. We're gonna play some Goindle. Alright, let me start it up. It's like Arkanoid, but it does all kinds of cool stuff. It's your ball can like warp around, and it's pretty cool. Each level is a lot more difference to it than Arkanoid. I love these breakout clones, man. I really do. I think Goindle is probably my favorite of them all. Some of these wacky games, man, make no sense. Like, what the hell's going on? There's dinosaurs on the artwork. Some dude's in a tank now. Or just, you know.
Does that happen?
I don't know the whole storyline of, oh man, of Goindle, but yeah, if you know me personally, I pretty much bring up Arkanoid at least once a day to fellow arcade collectors. Oh, I love Arkanoid, but you know, I have a Goindle board. Someday I'll put it in a cabinet, but in general, I don't like to collect bastard cabinets. But man, this is to me, in my opinion, this is a cool game. But all right, let's find something else to do. Check out this beauty, Stern Seaberg's Dark Planet. I am very jealous of this game. I've been wanting this game for several years. First time I seen one, I didn't know what it was at first. I remember helping a guy move like 1,000 games, and I seen this in there. I'm like, what the hell is that? It has like a 3D scene inside. It's a really cool game. Well, let's find out what's wrong with it. Kelly, coin up and try to play this. It is impossible for me to get a picture of this. Just doesn't look right in the camera. Look at the 3D scene. See the little bridges? Very cool. Very cool. Definitely one of the wish I had list. Definitely on the wish I had list. Okay. Let me explain how this works. There is a blue tinted lens or piece of plastic or whatever here, and there's a regular clear one also. Now, the monitor, this game only displays red and blue. It does not display green. Okay? Now, the blue film lets blue get through, and the red just gets through. Okay, here, look. See that red dot? See how it disappeared? See that? And that gives you the illusion of depth. Oh, and it's just amazing. I've always wanted to see inside one of these. Always wanted to see inside. But yeah, the monitor is facing us. It's pointing up. Face up. Okay? And, geez, there's got to be a mirror up there. This has to be a mirror. Right? It has to be. So there's got to be a mirror up there. Straight up there. Bounces it through these two filters. And then there's got to be a two-way mirror down here, you know, like in Space Invaders. So you can see the graphics underneath, you know, the building. This is an actual 3D model underneath. And it'll still reflect the light from the monitor back up. So it's very impressive to me. Very impressive. See, there's our red bases or whatever they are. I don't know. I don't know what the whole storyline of this game is. Is it like a mining operation going on here, or I don't know. But it's in 3D. Man, I was always fascinated with this game. Very cool. Very cool. And the interesting thing is, it doesn't have any crazy proprietary Stern hardware. This actually, let me get down here. This actually runs on a plain old Konami board. Nothing special about it. I think that bottom board goes on several other Konami Stern boards. Konami pinout. Interesting. Somebody put in a more modern power supply, but I'm going to put in a brand new power supply just because. And we're going to rebuild the monitor. Is that is a Stern speaker grill, but is that how it came? I hate when people do this. Let me show around the back. We took out all the plastics. Look at this. Here's your mirror adjustments. Okay, what does all this say? Medium mirror assembly, black mirror assembly, red filter assembly, blue filter assembly, and a full mirror assembly. Very interesting. So we're gonna have to take that monitor out and recap it, of course. And it looks like someone did some repair work on this. I could be wrong, but that sure as hell looks like Bondo to me. Maybe this was falling apart and somebody bondoed it. It looks like a... Could this be cardboard? Is this originally made out of cardboard? I don't know. Very interesting. Does anyone own one of these? Can you leave in the comments? Does this supposed to look like Bondo? Looks like somebody did some kind of patch-up work here. But, man. We got it all apart now, but very, very cool game. Check this out. This is a Zaccaria cabinet, and I love the artwork on Zacarias. I love the artwork on the Zacarias. It reminds me of the quality of a Universal cabinet. And this cabinet is made in Italy, I believe, Zaccaria. And they also made pinballs, I believe. But, wow. I always love to look at this. Now, this machine, this same game, I believe Todd Tuckey has in his basement. You don't see many of these around. Especially not in good condition like this. But I'm going to play this. Hey, Kelly, can you hold the camera?
Sure.
I'm going to play this, and I want you to listen to the sounds on this game. You tell me if you can decipher these sound effects, okay? Let me coin up. First off, do you hear that sound? Let's listen to that again. What manufacturer has that sound? Okay, I'm going to start it up. Okay. It starts off, I can only go right and left, like asteroids, right? like asteroids, like Space Invaders, I mean. Only go right and left, that's all I got. Now, I can move around like asteroids. Now, do you know what these sound effects are from? It sounds like Williams sound effects. Sounds like a little bit of Robotron in there, a little bit of Defender in there, and it is so dead on accurate. I swear they must have copied the code. Let's take a look at the boards. I'm really curious. Do they have like a clone Williams soundboard on this thing? I don't know. I've never seen the inside of a Quasar before. So let's check it out. Okay, here in the cabinet here we have an isolation transformer and step-down transformer assembly here, and some sort of linear power supply. And here's a fan inside this cage, which blows air towards the power supply, I'd imagine. That's interesting. Instead of towards the board. That's cool. Here's something very, very interesting to me. Look at this weird makeshift Faraday cage. Is that not interesting? Look at that. It's mounted by springs. And it's basically a screen door material, but it's like a Faraday cage. And actually, that's not even, oh, I thought this was a Faraday cage. This is like fiberglass mesh. That's not conductive. So I guess the whole point of this is for idiots like me, not to randomly stick my hand in there and get electrocuted. Isn't that weird? Oh man, I was really trying to get electrocuted. But here's a little bit of a Faraday cage right here. Very interesting. I've always wanted to see inside one of these Zacharias. This is definitely unique. What's this say? Serious damage will be incurred if you plug or unplug the logic board, associate connectors, whilst this equipment is switched on. Always switch the machine off. Now, remember those interesting Williams sounds? This has to be the soundboard. You know what? I want to take this out, and we're going to do a side-by-side comparison of an actual Williams soundboard and this board. I mean, didn't those sounds sound identical to Williams? I swear that has to be a dead rip-off of the software. So, and it's got to be a rip-off of the hardware. Let's check it out. Okay, I'm going to compare this to a Williams soundboard. But before I do that, I noticed something else was kind of cool. That is about the fanciest anode cup on the back of a tube I've ever seen. It's clear plastic. It looks kind of cool. Well, we just got this bubbles in, and there's bare wires here. I don't know what someone was trying to do. Well, I know what they were trying to do. They're trying to put a power supply in, a modern power supply, but instead of tapping into the proper location, which would be like right here, they tried to feed it in here, and looks like they never finished the job. But anyway, so I'm gonna have to undo all this bullshit and do it right. But right here is the Williams soundboard, and here is the Zacharias soundboard. As you can see, they used a sound amplifier chip, and they used a different kind of sound amplifier chip right there. It's different for sure. It's very interesting though, the sounds. If this machine was working, I would probably see if the ROM is the same and see if I could swap it. Just to see what it would sound like on a Williams. But let's just go ahead and put this back together. Pretty cool though. Let's see what other kind of games I could find. Okay, working on this Williams here, and you can see I have lines going down the image right here. and often that is RAM. I hit the. So here's my rug pattern, and there's little goof ups right here in the rug pattern. And let's see here. I still need to finish undoing somebody's goofy hack here, but I did put an arcade shop to Williams to have, you know, to the standard switcher power supply adapter. And I gotta remove this crap here still. But the good news is we are getting a RAM error. Let me hit reset right here. And we are getting 1, 3, 1. So let me look up and see which one of these 131 is. I used to have that memorized, but you know, especially last year, I think I fixed like 30 or 40 Williams games all in one shot. So I had that memorized, but I'm forgetful. So I'm gonna go back to the manual, and we're gonna see what 131 does. I think 1 was like bank 1, chip 3. No wait, 1 was RAM. 3 would be the third bank, and the first chip on a third bank, something like that. Ah, God, I don't want it. Whatever is for sale, I don't want it. But all right, so let me get a manual out and let's see what that is. You know what? I was getting ready to replace one 4116 chip, and I thought, you know what? Fuck it, let's upgrade this. I'm going to remove all the 4116 chips, and we're going to install 4164 chips. Why? Because the 4164 chips are much more dependable. These only require one single voltage, and the original chips were tri-voltage. And these almost never go bad. These go bad very often. Okay, so let me show you what to do. I'm going to scratch this trace right here on the board. I'm going to break it open. Yeah, I'm using really using the wrong tool here, but it'll get the job done. Okay, now I'm going to remove this trace. You see this trace right here? If you really want to make a nice neat job, I suggest you use a Dremel with the cutoff wheel. Okay, now this is off. I believe so, yep. And this is also scratched off, I believe so. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab an old capacitor leg or something like that. And I'm going to solder across here, this point to this point. Can you see what I'm talking about? Right here to right here. So let me get the iron ready. That'll do. Now I'm going to basically do the same thing up top. Let's see here, from here to here, we only need to cut it about there. Okay. Alright, so basically what we've done is we've disabled -5, we've disabled +12, and we rewired it to run for 5 volts in those locations. And so now I'm going to just yank every one of these out. Now these 4116s, you can keep them running, but honestly, 4164 are a huge improvement. Now there's also another way to do this. If you look up Arcade Shop on Google it, and you can order the 4164 replacement kit. Now that kit comes with all new 4164 chips and a plug. That way you don't have to do any circuit board modification at all. You can actually just buy a plug that changes the voltages for you. But I'm cheap, and this is the cheaper way to do it. Just keep in mind, if you decide to plug this board into another harness, that it will fry the RAM, because if you use the other, in other words, if you take off that adapter and use the kit and then plug that board into another harness, you could possibly fry the RAM because it's been rewired. But alright, let's throw this new RAM in and I'll get back to you. Okay, I just have 2 screws in just to test it for now. I still need to go back. I need to replace these batteries. So we have all new RAM in there with the RAM modification. And let's turn this sucker on. See, what we're looking for right now is for this readout to say 0. And we got a 0. Okay. So, there's that. Okay, I need to, before I put this back together again, I need to remove these crappy batteries. These batteries, as you can see in the video here, leak and corrode. And over time it can damage your board. Now, you really should put, I like to use CR2032s. These are watch batteries. You can get them all over the place. They come in packages like this. But you really should put them in a CR2032 battery holder, which is the same kind of battery holder that comes on many motherboards and things like that. But unfortunately, we are now out. And I'm going to do something that I'm going to tell you not to do. But I'm going to tell you how not to do it the right way. Alright, now, the reason I'm going to solder onto this battery, and the reason you should never solder onto a button cell, because the heat from the soldering iron can cause these to explode, and if it doesn't explode, it could shorten the life of the battery. Okay, but I have a trick, and I'll show you how I do it. Now, once again, I don't condone soldering to batteries, but this is what I'm doing. You know. Okay, so I'm going to solder to this. Jeez, whatever goes. Okay. Finally got it hot enough to hit. I'm dumping it in, and that's cold water from the fridge. Okay. Let me hit that a little bigger. Get the water off it first. Get that solder ball a little bigger. Just throw it back in the cold water. Okay. I'm using, this is the soldering iron on the other side of the workbench. This soldering iron doesn't get very hot. Usually this happens a lot quicker, but this is the crappy iron. Okay, back in the cold water. Okay, let me dry this off with my shirt. Keep in mind, I'm telling you not to do this.
So do as you say, not as you do?
Just don't do anything I do. Okay. Let me dry that off my shirt again. And I think I just did a video to get this water out of the way before I spill everywhere. I think I just did a video recently about how to do this, but we're gonna do it again. Where the hell? Let me get my clippers. I'm just gonna clip this sucker right off. Okay, throw that aside. What I'm going to do is, well, my positive and negative terminals may cut these a little shorter. I'm going to do something like that. Okay, I'm going to make my positive side go here. Negative side go here. Now I'm going to scratch solder mask. Right here. And make a big giant blob that connects these two together. That'll work. I just realized I soldered the wrong thing on video. You can solder this if you want, but it's not connected to anything. So I should have soldered this. This one. There you go. So now this is the hillbilly method to install CR2032. I never had a battery explode like this before, but if you're gonna sit there and you're gonna not cool it down, it's gonna explode. But alright, so let me put this back in, and you know what, if you guys like these kind of videos, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. You know, there's all kinds of videos that I watch, all different kinds of people that I watch, and you know, I noticed that a lot of them I haven't subscribed to. I always keep crawling back and watching their videos, but I never subscribe. I'm going to try to subscribe to some people because I think they deserve it. If you think if you like these videos, please subscribe. All right, have a good one. He gets like extra happy the bigger he gets.